Good afternoon, one and all. Thanks so much for tuning in to this afternoon's broadcast of Hornet Baseball from Woodworth Field at Kalamazoo College. We interrupt your regularly scheduled programming as this game was moved up from Friday to today, trying to beat the weather. This is a fact of life in this great state of Michigan, but we're so happy to have you with us today. I'm Tanner White, and I am so happy to have with me Julia Rambo. How the heck is the spring treating you?
You know, it is a beautiful, kind of beautiful day today, but it's been great. Thanks, Tanner. How's your spring going?
Unbelievable. The first time out for me at Woodworth for the year. And we're going to have our PA announcer, Coach Nick Giard with men's basketball, take it away for you.
Let's meet the starting lineups for the visiting Thunder. Leading off, number 5, shortstop, Luke Burford. Batting second, number 1, second baseman, Tyler Wise. Batting third, number 25, first baseman, Joel Walton. Batting fourth, number 20, the designated hitter, Sam Beckham. Batting fifth, number 9, catcher, Preston Henshin. Batting sixth, number 4, third baseman, Cole Temple. Batting seventh, number 22, the right fielder, Noah Pruitt. Batting eighth, number 30, in left field, Dane DuBois. Batting ninth, number 3, the center fielder, Cole Schmidt-Huber. And pitching for the Thunder, number 17, Owen Mitchell. Trine is coached by head coach Brett Ratcliffe, assisted by Chris Rhodes, Ryan Reisdorf, Bryce Yoder, Rick Hensley, and Ian Burkhart. Now for the home team, the Hornets of Kalamazoo. Leading off, the fifth-year senior, number 3, shortstop, Cooper Mills. Batting second, sophomore, number 13, the catcher, Caleb Moore. Batting third, junior, number 7, at first base, Ryder Reinhardt. Batting cleanup, junior, number 18, in center field, Logan Lockhart. Batting fifth, number 14, senior, second baseman, David Steckow. Batting sixth, senior, number 10, the right fielder, Tanner Hawkins. Batting seventh, junior, number 23, the left fielder, Robert Newland. Batting eighth, sophomore, number 1, the third baseman, Cade Pricing. Batting ninth, junior, number 31, the designated hitter, Daniel Bakary. And pitching for the Hornets, senior, number 24, Jacob Davis. Kalamazoo is coached by Mike Ott, assisted by Mac Ellenbest, Brendan Craig, J.P. McBride, Zach Simmons, Dylan Cooper, and Jordan Peterson. Now would you please rise? Gentlemen, remove your caps and face the flag located in center field to honor our country with the playing of the national anthem.
Anthems, lineups, all of that out of the way. Let's talk baseball. Let's talk this precarious situation that Kalamazoo finds themselves in right now. 5-7 MIAA record. But you've probably looked all up and down the standings as I have. This is the only game going on in the MIAA today. But Trine at the bottom of it, tied with Olivet. They have identical 3-9 conference records. Still, mathematically, everybody could play their way into or out of this tournament. It's going to be good, right?
I totally agree. You know, talking to some inside sources, this game, this is a big game. I mean, from now on, these Hornets really have to win out, and they have to assure their spot, their 4 spot, if they want to make the MIAA tournament.
Yeah, I'm so glad that you hit on that. The top 4 will make the tournament. It wasn't a sweep for Kalamazoo in the tournament last year, but it was not nearly the performance that they had hoped for. In the first round game, they beat Alma 4-1. Then Adrian and Hope both got hot, and of course those two ended up meeting in the tournament final, and as Kalamazoo was bounced in that tournament, well, you had the back-to-back conference championships after the 96-year drought, and then the tournament, just not the result that they wanted. This team thought, we've got tons of returning players. We have absolutely everywhere star power, and there'll be tons of that on display today. But there's so much more work to do from right now.
I totally agree. I think, you know, they really have to put the pieces together. You know, we definitely saw the Bats on Monday. Did you see that score, 18-12 against
Tell
Hope?
me more about that game.
Wow.
What was that game like from right here?
You know, I was on air for that game, and it was just kind of crazy to me that was such a high-scoring game. I mean, both teams, I think, didn't play as well as they wanted to, but also very, you know, it's a win. It's a win for the Hornets.
Good problem to have. You scored 18 runs, and you're thinking, we got to do more. First delivery of the ball game, shot, and that's a line base hit.
Beautiful 5-6 hole.
Burford at the very top of the lineup on pitch number 1. Kalamazoo, they're throwing out their horse, their ace, Jacob Davis. Good time for him to be taking the mound. The numbers on Davis, 4.02 ERA, 1.17 whip. This is start number 8 on the year, 3-4 record, but that belies just how good he's been. And a lot of those numbers do in the way. Another first pitch swinging. This is pop foul. Reinhardt will run forever, and it's in the opposing dugout.
Already aggression coming out on the team right here for Trine. Goodness.
Yeah, you had a single on the first pitch. You have a foul the other way on the second. Davis with a long look in now from the stretch. Bunt showed, pulled back. The catcher Moore flipped down there. And he's back in time. That's close.
Oh, my
You
goodness.
just gave me the catcher's look. Talk to me about back picks.
Oh, man. I was a college catcher as well. And that was a fantastic throw and quick transfer from Caleb Moore to Ryer Reinhardt.
This is in the air, soft to right, shallow. And caught out there for out number 1 from Rob Newland.
Also, quick comment on the wind. That ball is now moving inward where it was not moving inward last Monday. And that ball kind of died right there at the end toward Newland.
Yeah, it did. It made it look a little bit more lazy than otherwise could have been. Davis after the leadoff single, ready to bring it back in. Davis off speed. Looked a little good, little low maybe. Started him off with ball 1.
Joel Walton up to bat, batting .260 on the air.
Another solid contact. This is in the air to right center, and that's hauled in as well. You got 2 out on a couple of lazy fly balls. Logan Lockhart out there in center.
Yeah, I mean, that was a good piece on that one. Definitely a good smack on that. But, I mean, you're under there. You're making the catch. That's an out.
Sam Beckham now is going to dig in. Junior from Hudsonville Unity Christian. Davis spins, pickoff move. Runner back in. You're going to be hearing the wind brushing up against the mic. I think we're going to have to adjust the crowd mic from time to time.
Yeah, but already 2 away for these Hornets.
Davis, Bender, yes please.
Yeah.
How about more of
pitch.
that from JD?
Yeah, definitely. That was a nice breaking ball outside corner.
Davis bring it, swing and a miss. That's 0-2.
That's a beautiful block right in front. We love to see those.
and I will hope to get more catcher's perspectives here. I'm already excited. It's the top of the first, and I'm already thinking I need a lot more of this today.
I know. Also, we love the pace of this game.
Oh, we'll see you later, you were saying?
Goodness.
Yeah, pace. I think that might be the thing for
Oh,
Jacob
my goodness.
Davis.
There we go. I think that was definitely the inning Davis wanted. As of late, you know, he hasn't been what exactly I'm sure that he wanted as he in the beginning, you know, but this is, I mean, as you get more chances, it just continues to give more opportunities for success.
Yeah, I hear you.
Here.
So the leadoff single, you got a couple of lazy flyouts, then the strikeout from Jacob Davis for his first K. Well, he gets to turn it over to some bats that have been good. Kalamazoo lineup comes into the day hitting .318 on the year, and their triple slash .417 on base, .427 slugging. It's a tad behind in most areas from where they were the last couple of years, but I think that speaks to the expectations that have been set, and it's hard to say when exactly that started, maybe 2019, 20 or so.
Yeah.
And Coach Ott, every single year with this program, it's like they just reload and they come back here and put up those numbers all the time.
Absolutely, and we always talk about how, you know, late scoring of a team they are. Example was literally yesterday. You know, they didn't have the game they wanted to, but they gave up 4 runs in the last inning in the top of 9.
And they came trailing into that inning, what, 11-3?
11-3. Yep, and they ended the game 11-7. So, I mean, definitely, I mean, that's a loss. They didn't want that, but they're also, I know this team is ready for today.
And you're going to see it in just a moment. Cooper Mills, the shortstop, the all-time leader in plate appearances, the this and that and the other thing guy.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? You pick a stat and you say, okay, this guy's going to be up there in it. He also leads the MIAA should he reach base with 18 stolen bases on 18 of 21.
Beautiful. I do know that he is the lead walk guy on a Kalamazoo College team.
Yeah, also drawn the most walks. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Leading off for the Hornets, Cooper Mills.
And on the first pitch, it's on a hop to short. That's going to eat him up. And I'm thinking infield hit. How about you?
You know, I'm not sure. I'm seeing what our friends are saying next door. Honestly, I'm thinking an error personally. But let's see what Mr. Steve Whiting has in. Base hit for now, he says. That's a base hit for Cooper Mills.
It's only right, if you ask me.
You know what? I love a hit for a Hornet, so I'm glad we have it.
And now Caleb Moore digging in as a quick step off and a throw.
Cooper Mills in safely. Caleb Moore up to bat, the average leading hitter for the Hornets.
Owen Mitchell, the starter for Trine.
That was a beautiful pitch. Breaking ball outside once again. Yeah, Caleb Moore, we were talking about it, and I've said it before and I'll say it again. He has really stepped up as a catcher, as a hitter for this team as a sophomore. It's pretty impressive.
More on that in a moment. I'll love to ask you more. Mills got a little bit further off. That is close on the pickoff throw. And let's talk about explosions. Let's talk about guys that sort of come out of nowhere.
Yeah.
How do they do that? How do they find those guys?
I don't know. I mean, you have big players leave, and then you got to fill those positions. Beautiful strike on the corner there for 0-2. I think Caleb, you know, he saw that his opportunity, you know, you have other catchers in the pen, and you're like, okay, who's taking the spot? And I think he really showed what he's capable of.
They're going to check on Mills again. Well, okay. So they've done their scouting. They've done their homework.
Yeah. They're trying to keep him there because they know he's going to try to steal. A little bit of a lead.
And we'll spray it foul. Reload.
Yep, still got an 0-2 on Moore.
See, this batter already matters here in the bottom of the first because you know who's up next. And if he were to come up with 2 on base, I mean, we'll talk more about Reinhardt throughout the day.
When he comes up, we'll give him a second.
Yeah, and in all fairness, again, this is the leader in average in the league who's stepping in right now.
Absolutely.
Down and away. A little bit of a look in from the starter, Mitchell. Owen Mitchell, right-handed sophomore out of Pittsburgh. Mitchell sets. There goes Mills. This is in the air. Mills going to have to retreat most likely. It's deep.
Wow.
What an adjustment, too.
Wow. Fantastic catch from the center fielder, Cole Schmidhuber.
Do you ever envy an outfielder with a ball that carries that much and stays up that long?
I mean, that was, you know, he did a very good job adjusting. That ball didn't, it kind of stayed in the air and then took off, actually kind of carrying, and he made that running catch. But he did a great job following that ball.
Now Reinhardt will dig in. Ball down and away. And you may have heard about the antics recently. I'm trying to decide where to start because I could literally be out of breath and I could talk for the rest of a 3-hour ball game about this. I think let's go with the last 2 games after this pitch, the 0-1. Cut through. Mills on the move. He's in there. Stolen base.
Yeah, that throw was a little up the line on the left, and it honestly would have been close, but the shortstop couldn't quite get the pick on that. But Cooper Mills is in there for another steal.
Yeah, that's 19 of them. Again, this is the only game going on in the MIAA, so he will remain the leader. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Reinhardt took outside. So, to follow up on that thought, from the last 2 games, this is 2 games. That's 8 of 9, 3 home runs, 12 RBIs, 4 runs scored, a walk.
Can you believe that? I don't think I've ever heard a stat like that, ever.
And for some guy, in fact, for some very good ball players, that is a month of production.
Right.
Where do you even start? Again, I could be here for the entire 9-inning game and just talk about that. It doesn't make any sense. It's downright ridiculous.
It is.
And here we are. 3-1, healthy cut. He has always had, Ryer has, the swing and miss to his game, but every single piece of contact is so scary. You got people hanging out on the outfield fence as they should.
Oh, my goodness, yes. Look at, I mean, left field is about 5 feet in front of the warning track. That ball is through the 5-6 hole. Cooper Mills rounding third, and he's held, and Reinhardt is in there for a single.
Now talk third base coaching too. It's Coach Ott who loves to be over there. Would you have sent Mills?
No. You never make your first out at third base, man. That's always a big rule. So, I mean, I understand the being conservative here from Coach Ott. And now you got corners, and you got 1 down. This is a great placement. And now we have another amazing hitter, Logan Lockhart, up to bat.
Lockhart, he pushed a bunt. Oh, it's a really good one. Lockhart safe.
Wow.
And it's a base hit RBI. Chaos already.
He pushed that ball perfectly up the first base line. That was you had both first base and pitcher move into the ball, and then you had to have somebody cover and not quite in time for a single bunt for Logan Lockhart as well as an RBI.
Number 14, David Steckow.
Guy's driven in 19 RBIs. He's made improvements as a starter and out of the bullpen. He's played well defensively. It's hard to find somebody more versatile.
Right. Sorry, Tanner. I was going to say, brings up David Steckow, another big bunt guy. He is a fantastic bunter and getting on base a lot, especially with his speed. Now putting runners, Ryer and Lockhart, at second and first, excuse me. He puts a bunt down, just foul.
I wanted to ask if they would consider bunting again no matter how tight the infield is.
Yeah, they're pretty tight, but honestly, looking at, you know, third base isn't crashed in at all. Let's see if he does it again. He's got a 1-1.
Makes the catcher's job extremely difficult if he does.
And he does. Puts one down, third base line, going first. Just got him out. Moving runners to 3-2. Hey, that's a sac bunt right there from David Steckow.
Yeah, it's 2 bunts in a row. And truly, the catcher didn't even really depart from his crouch. He said, well, there's no way I'm going to get there.
No, that's a great placed ball. I was very surprised to see, I believe that pitcher had that ball,
Yeah,
correct?
that's right.
Yeah, he had some good movement to it and made a good play there.
Preston Henshin, the senior backstop. Oh, speaking of backstops, that's where that one's headed.
Yep, and that's an easy run. Ryer Reinhardt scoring. Yeah, that ball took hard cut there.
You got another runner at third base. It never gets any easier. This team jumps out ahead of you early. Good news for the Nets.
Yeah, Logan Lockhart ready to score. Beautiful pitch on the outside corner for a strike for Tanner Hawkins.
Yeah, that is paint from Mitchell. Just going to regret the wild pitch.
Yeah, he hasn't been wild like that. He's really been doing a great job. That's a great breaking ball outside, though. 2-1.
Is that more so about trying to nibble the corners and not living in the heart of the plate?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, now we're seeing this team is hitting, and especially with a bunt group there, a little section there in the lineup. But now Tanner most likely is going to be looking to hit here. Got 2 away. You're not going to really put a bunt down with that.
It's a 3-1 coming with 2 outs. The runner on third base. And lined right to the second baseman and caught. Well, Nets will scratch a couple across on a couple of hits. The wild pitch scores Reinhardt, and 2-0. The Hornets heading to the top of the second.
And we're back to the top of the second inning now with still Jacob Davis on the mound, throwing to Caleb Moore. He dropped a 0, dropped an egg last inning with some decent hits from Trine, but no score. Beautiful pitch right there.
And I don't even know that I had an issue with the very first pitch of the ball game that he gave up the leadoff single to.
Right. I mean, as a pitcher, and there's a line into left center, Lockhart going back, making the grab on a running catch. Wow. He covers a lot of ground. I love to see him in center.
You nailed it. Now, that also comes down to outfield positioning, and you usually have to have the hitter shaded pretty well, the proper direction in order to track that down.
Right.
Man, that was fantastic off the bat.
Yeah. And like we're talking about now, if you're looking at the flag, it's moving pretty hard left or kind of into left center-ish. But for the pitch, just outside, breaking ball. Got past Moore there, but nothing to worry about. Nobody's on. Puts it at a 1-0. And we have Schmidt-Huber up to bat. There's a strike. Got a 1-1. Yeah, definitely settling in, don't you think, for Davis? Popped up. And David Steckow's calling it. And Newland coming in, making the grab. Kind of had a little bit of a collision. Everyone's okay, but made the out. And there's 2 away.
Yeah, I will answer that previous question. I am fortunate enough to have seen Jacob Davis in a couple of other contexts. I've also seen him in the Northwoods League with the Rockford Rivets. The guy just shoves there.
Bunt. Yep, and bunt foul, first baseline. Sorry, Tanner, go ahead.
Hey, we were talking about shoves. The guy shoved a bunt a little bit too hard.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Yeah, Jacob Davis, it is all about composure with him. He has looked the part from the moment that he came in here of the #1 starter, of the experienced guy.
We got a 1-1. Keep going.
Yeah, no worries. As
Pit-
Davis finds his pace.
Yeah. Swing and a miss. Ball in the dirt there, outside corner for a breaking ball. Got a 1-2.
And when he's getting guys to chase, that's when he's most dangerous.
Exactly. See what he does here. Another ball in the dirt for strike 3. And just like that, that's 1-2-3. And we're going to the bottom of the second. Thanks for hanging.
Hey, pitching doesn't have to be difficult. Do you know what I mean?
No, I mean, that's there. That's beautiful.
Davis just evaporated a half inning. You have 0 hard contact.
Right.
He's mostly living at the plate, has only missed but a couple of times. This is a formula he can absolutely win with. And Cruz, a guy that's thrown a couple of complete games.
Absolutely.
Out of the 3 for Kalamazoo, has a couple of shutouts. Carson Orvis, I believe, has the one other complete game for Kalamazoo, which was very impressive in his own right, the freshman right-handed starter.
Yeah.
And it is sort of been few and far between the starts of that quality. However, Net's going to need more of them.
Right. I think, too, everyone has their off games, but I'm just really happy to see Jacob Davis coming in and shutting it down. Because, he started off extremely hot. He came out, complete shutouts. Did he have a no-hitter? Oh, he was 1 away from one of the games.
I think it was a one-hitter shutout.
It was a one-hitter shutout, but he had another shutout in there as well. I mean, he has been a really key pitcher, and I'm glad to see, him taking control of this game so far. Brings up Robert Newland, number 23, right fielder. Rob on the year, batting .215. He's ahead. Go ahead, Tanner. Yeah.
He was another guy I got to watch in the Northwoods League.
Yes.
And it is the Kalamazoo to Northwoods pipeline is strong, and it's always fun.
No, it is. It's really cool to see these guys playing some cool, fun summer ball. Still, getting their reps in, having fun doing it too. That's a ball on Newland for a 1-0. Second pitch in there for an outside strike.
There was also Chase Cummins and Ryer Reinhardt
Yep.
with the Kalamazoo Growlers. Had
Yep.
to shout those guys out. I worked with the Growlers in the summers. Good times.
Yeah, that's awesome. Another pitch to him, fouled off. Little chop away to the left side. Mitchell still dealing on the mound. Got a 1-2. Ball away for a 2-2. Got a little cloudy, but it's still, I think, great weather to play in. The pitch, way up for a full count for Newland, being selective there.
We have earned this, by the way, the 64 and somewhat sunny.
Yes, we have.
We really have.
The pitch, swinging, makes, and just through the shortstop, barely for a single. Almost made the stop there, but not quite. From Burford.
I don't know if Rob Newland has enough nicknames. They all, with baseball and softball, you know how they do nicknames, and some of those just stick so long. Boy, I don't know. Hot Rob is kind of a stretch,
Rob.
but that ball came off hot.
That ball did. He had a good rip on that one. And also, Rob Newland has a lot of stolen bases as well. He is 12 for 13. So being on the lookout for that. Brings up Tanner Hawkins.
Bold prediction here. Two pitches or less before they're throwing over.
Oh, I'm so sorry. We have Cade Pricing up to bat, and we have now picked off Rob Newland at first. So there's an out for Trine. Great play there from Mitchell.
Yeah, they've done their homework.
Yes.
Let me make it just that
You know,
simple.
that was a great play. Another pitch to Pricing outside.
In this Kalamazoo team, they lead the league in stolen bases. Their percentage was very good coming in. You're talking upwards of 87%. Circle that with big red letters. Hey, they're going.
Right. Seen a lot of another strike there. Pretty down the middle for that one. Goodness, that was a good pitch. You know, they were picking off a lot, but if you can do it, do it. Pitch to him, straight into center field. And center field's running in. Right fielder's going to call him off for the catch, and that's 2 away.
The boys got a good jump off of the bat. And I think also Trine was a little bit upset after Adrian stole 5 bases on 6 attempts on them yesterday. That's easy to do as well, to say, okay, we've had enough of this. We're throwing over on pretty much everybody because everybody pretty much down the lineup will steal.
Right. Way inside, and that's a hit by pitch for Daniel Bakari, and he takes first base. That was a quick brush of the shoulder, but hey, you know, when you get hit, and that's a free base there for you.
You ever taken one of those and not felt it at all, and you were still standing over on first base? You said, oh, cool.
You know, I hate to say it, but whenever I got hit, I got hit.
No way.
Yeah, I still got pretty large bruises. Cooper Mills up to bat now, top of the lineup, and he shows bunt, pulls back for a ball. Looking to move his friend over and get a single at it, too.
You tell me you would never get out of the way, you wouldn't throw yourself out or drop the bat and dramatically spin.
Oh, you know what? I did have some, when they were coming at the ankles, most of the time I made some hops. I made some cool moves. Sometimes I got up in the air a little bit because, you know, the ankles aren't really ideal.
Sure.
But
and then your crouch is more uncomfortable, right, as a catcher?
Oh, my goodness. Oh, yeah. The bruises, like even from foul tips, all those things, never fun. And they were ugly, too. Ball outside. And that's a 3-0 for Cooper Mills. Daniel Bakari on first base got 2 down.
Well, you mentioned this guy draws the most walks of anybody who's ever played here.
He does. And that's a ball 4. That's 4 straight balls for Cooper Mills. So you can probably guess what Caleb Moore's going to do when he gets up to bat, first pitch. And that puts 2 on for the Hornets.
2 runs, 4 hits. Both of those were in the first frame. It was a good start for Kalamazoo, and it started with the bunts, really. You had a successful base hit down to first base by Lockhart. I'm still thinking about that. That was art.
That was absolutely beautiful. I mean, you had 2 guys crash into it. They didn't know. I mean, that was beautiful. Pitch in there for a strike for Caleb Moore. Number 13 catcher for the Hornets. Got runners in scoring position. And Owen Mitchell, pitcher for Trine, is looking to get this last out. Ripped into center field, and that's going to be a catch by center fielder Cole Schmidhuber. And that's the end of the inning. Going to the top of 3. 2-0 Hornets to Trine. We'll see you back.
Top three, Nets, 2-0. 2 runs on 4 hits for Kalamazoo. No runs, just 1 hit. It was the leadoff single off of Jacob Davis. And that's the 1 hit for Trine so far. Davis, first pitch strike. Kalamazoo coming into play. 17 and 11. Check swing, ugly. Appeal, yeah, you bet. I thought that was easy enough. Look, I've been wrong, and I'll continue to be wrong till the end of time, but I thought that was easy.
Dane Du Bois up to bat. And my apologies, totally there's almost a hit there. And would have beaten it out too.
Yeah, those so often turn into accidental base hits.
Truly.
The guy goes, what the heck?
And that's a single. I mean, not here, but but another time, yes. But no, my apologies. Last inning, I totally said that Cole Schmidhuber was up to bat, and that just was not correct.
Yeah, it's all right. Like, Cole Temple led off that inning.
Yeah,
no worries.
No, good. We have a lot of Coles on the Thunder. Did you notice that? I looked at their lineup, their roster. They got a lot of Coles.
No balls, 2 strikes. Jacob Davis. Yank foul.
Yeah, just left of that. Third base back.
I love where we sit. I love having the windows open because you were able to hear the umpire say, hey, give me 3 baseballs.
Oh, yes. That's nice. You get to hear it all. And it's warm enough to have the window open.
Oh, yeah. That I think is the bigger takeaway from the day. Yes, please.
Ball in the dirt. Putting that 1-2 for Du Bois.
And, yeah, adios.
Yeah, swing and a miss there.
Guy's been known to do this.
Yeah, I mean, Jacob Davis has got some good movement on the ball, and he's also painting corners right now.
He had already struck out over a batter per inning coming in. He was at 41 Ks in 40 and a third innings. That pace is still good. It is hard to pick a number that would suggest his ERA should even be at 4. There's just a couple of innings here and there where he's given up a couple of spots. He's given up 3 home runs, you could say. Another check swing. I mean, this is dominant.
Exactly. Yeah. This is Cole Schmidhuber up to bat.
Now you've got him.
Number 3, center fielder.
That's right. It's another one of those swinging bunts, sort of, to third base. And what a hose.
Wow.
Cade Pricing gunned him.
Yeah, running throw there. You always love those. And those are so much harder than you think. Back a long time ago, back when I played a little bit of middle infielder in corners, those type of plays are so much harder than you think when making the throw there to first. Great play by Cade Pricing.
Does it become about not setting the feet? Is that the big difficulty to putting it on target?
I granted I'm not an infielder anymore, but I definitely think it just really has to do with your arm slot and getting comfortable with how far you need to be snapping through.
And another chop way deep. Okay, no, not a chance.
Oh, man.
Could
that
you
would've
imagine?
Been, wow. That was a great effort, but that would have been, I don't know what that would have been. That would have been impossible almost.
Yeah, I'm willing to say that. I truly would have.
That was a great placed ball by leadoff Burford.
Yeah, and Burford's now the first guy with a couple of base hits.
Yeah.
Remember, he was the one who had the leadoff single as well.
Exactly. He's 2 for 2 today for the shortstop.
That's the Thunder's only 2 hits so far after the first trip and 1 batter through the lineup. Davis throws over. The Nets had a runner picked off last half inning. That was Rob Newland.
Yeah, brings up Tyler Wise up to bat.
Wise took down the pipe. Strike 1. Wise is a junior, goes 5'6" out of Medina, Ohio.
Yeah, second baseman. Oh, and another throwback. Trying to pick off Burford at first. In there safely.
Davis from the stretch again. And ran it a little bit outside this time. Wise stepped up to the plate. 8 out of 30 on the year. tad under a 260 average. 1-1 from Davis. Another spin, snap throw.
Yeah. Seen lots of pickoffs from both teams today so far. I mean, I think not getting anybody in scoring position is really important for both sides here. The pitch. Oh, beautiful pitch outside. Not quite. Just broke. A little low there.
You so often see the catcher hold that a little beat longer. And I think Moore did there as well. No luck yet.
Yeah, sometimes you just got to hold it there. I used to do that. Runner goes with a foul tip.
I love to hear, again, catchers admit that they will do it. I know it's probably subconscious, too.
What's that?
Hold the pitch there and try to frame it much longer than a normal reception.
Yeah, I mean, just to show, you know, where, I mean, sometimes it just helps, or often I used to ask.
Oh, that is, where did that pitch end up?
Yeah,
where did it miss?
In a very respectful manner, too.
Sure.
You know, it's never, and that was the thing, too. Like, my dad was a college catcher at MSU. He and my uncle, professional baseball player. I've had baseball people in my family the whole life, pitchers and catchers specifically. And they've always told me, they're like, truly, you got to be respectful if you want this game. So that's how I always ran. Popping up right to JD. And there's an out. But another baby collision there. Nothing crazy, but seems like there's a little bit of a who's got the ball. But, I mean, an out's an out once again.
Yeah, it is. Similarly to the flyout that you had out in right center where you had the little collision with Rob Newland and Steckow. And it's funny, you had mentioned on that pop-up, I didn't even get a chance to talk about it, but Steckow clearly called it too, and we had heard it real clearly with the windows open and all that. And so, you know, how do you iron that out so that in a crucial spot in a tournament game with 2 outs and runners on for an opposing team that you know 100% of the time you're hauling those pop-ups in? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, coming from a softball standpoint, there has always been certain things, a.k.a. and it also depended on who was on the mound.
Okay.
It really did. I mean, if you have a very athletic, which I feel Jacob Davis is, and he was capable of making that catch. You know, he can make that catch, but most of the time, it's going to be your infielders making that grab because, I mean, you're coming off of the mound. You have, especially with a baseball mound, you're coming down from it. There's always, you know, you never know if there's going to be not as good of feel of the ground. I'm not sure, but it was always just kind of like, hey, if your first baseman's there, give it to him. Like, if they're calling you off, it's always their ball. Basically, if an infielder's calling the pitcher off or the catcher off, you're letting them have it. That was always our rule. That, granted, like I said, baseball might be a little different, but kind of same thing with outfield and infield. You'll see that most of the time that the ball is tailing out into the middle outfield, you know, kind of a blooper, it's most likely going to be that outfielder's ball because they're coming in rather than the infielder moving out and taking a back step, backdrop, you know, that kind of thing. So, but, you know, it's kind of also, you feel it out. These players are really good defensively.
And Reinhardt will spray that foul. Another catcher's anecdote that I'm so excited about. This is such a unique experience for me to now, and no better time.
Yeah. Nah, thanks, Tanner. This is, right up to the face there.
Chin music.
Chin music, exactly.
Well, now it's 2-1. This guy has hit 3 home runs in the past 2 days.
Yeah, he's scary.
He hit safely his first time up. You know, go ahead. Throw up and in there. See what happens. Reinhardt, slow chopper. Oh,
just barely.
Boy, was it.
I almost thought that was fair ball, but I guess not.
Where's the bag? Where's the chalk? Who chalked the line is sometimes a question that I want to ask. You know, is it a little deviated? I don't know.
Right. Hey, that's a 2-2 for Reinhardt. Yeah, yesterday I have said it on accident before, but it is Reinhardt, not Ryan.
That could happen. I totally understand.
Oh no, you haven't. But you know, it is a hard because when you look at it, you know, you're like, oh, Ryan, no, Ryer. And I can attest that I have made that mistake before, and I deeply apologize because everyone deserves to say their name correctly.
Would you believe I've never gone a game without making a mistake?
Me either. Come on, we all do.
Full count pitch. Kruk.
Wow.
Down. Gapper. He's going to take the turn. Get on the horse, too. And the throw cut off. Double.
Oh, my goodness. That's another double for Ryer Reinhardt.
Let's talk about coming out of the batter's box. Not enough players, I think, are taught to come out with hair on fire. I think not enough guys. Some guys will almost force themselves to be held to a single. That ball, of course, is harder hit, but especially on something that's hit a little bit softer, there's not a guarantee that you reach second base on even a ball in the gap.
No, Ryer did a great job rounding. I was really seeing that. He knew he was going to, and he definitely coming around with that little banana move, you know, coming around first base into safely too.
That's 25 extra base hits on the year for Reinhardt.
Goodness.
Unsurprisingly, that is the most on this lineup. That is the most in the MIAA.
Wow.
There's he does that.
Yeah, that's his 12th double of the year.
Ball down and away. And just a few of the other numbers that he came in already leading the league in, and naturally, of course, now is 2 for 2 as well, so he's 10 for his last 11.
Goodness.
It's getting comical, but
Oh
of
my
course,
gosh.
the league leader in hits now has 52 of them, home runs with 11, RBIs had 50 coming in.
Crazy. Yeah, Logan Lockhart up to bat. He's got a 1-1. Now, I love looking at these stats. I mean, Lockhart batting .322. He is such a reliable guy on the team.
He will pop this.
Yep.
About a mile high. Oh, a bluff tag. Just making you think.
You know what, though? It's great because that little hard step off a second from Reinhardt and that ball's through. Oh, you're on third. I mean, you got to be aggressive in every manner. So that's great to see that he's ready to go, even though obviously he's not going to go because that ball was – you can kind of see some commentary between shortstop Burford and Reinhardt there, kind of making a joke, I think.
Well, Ryer's telling him, dude, you haven't seen me at full speed. Come on. And everybody else on the Kalamazoo dugout, they're saying, no, you don't want to see that.
Yeah, I don't think Reinhardt has too many stolen bases on the year. Hey, you know what? He has 3. That's not 0. That's pretty great.
Yeah, I hear you.
David Stuckow up to bat.
Oh, he bluffed the steal again. Come on.
He's having fun. He's giving a good lead there. You know what, though? I wouldn't be too far off because we've already picked one off guy for Thunder today.
Oh, you're thinking Mitchell step off, throw back to second?
You know, I've seen it. Playing a little dance over there. That's a ball outside.
Well, Ryer's just winning the mental and the physical game now. I mean, the game is supposed to be harder than this guy makes it look, you know?
He's having fun. I love it. This game is, once you're on, you know, you're.
This is shallow into right field. Reinhardt going to tag up again. Yeah, it's another bluff. But this has been. Yeah,
that was a good throw. That would have been a quick snap throw, little cut off there from Burford into definitely an out at third if Reinhardt took that. But, hey, he's smart. He's smart. He knows what he can and can't do.
Oh,
and
sure.
I don't think anybody could have made that. Anybody. Even if you're like Usain Bolt. Like, you know, you can't really make that.
Guy's just an entertainer. And to also be, you know, in so many ways the best hitter in this league.
Yeah.
To have broken all this and that record and an All-American as a freshman and the national leader in RBIs per game as a freshman. I mean, I'm out of breath talking about it.
Right.
But the guy just loves baseball.
Yeah, and it's so cool. He's only a junior. Outside pitch to Tanner Hawkins.
Yeah, I'm glad you got back to that. Most career records projecting his current pace are going to be within reach, and the home run record's already been shattered. That ball's out of here.
It's not like he was redshirted. He's a real junior. That's pretty cool. Takes that ball up high.
3-0 here. It just doesn't stop with the Nets. They've got 2 runs, 5 hits, but the base runners are omnipresent.
Yeah, Tanner Hawkins batting .343, third best on the team.
That's clipping the very inside
Yeah.
corner. He gets front doored right there. One of
Yeah.
the only times that we've seen that. Do you like that
Yes.
location?
You know, I didn't quite see it perfectly, but that looked a bit inside, but I definitely would be taking that all the way. I mean, you're 3-0, and also that's a pitch you don't want. It's fouled right back at us for a 3-2. Yeah, Hawkins, he gets on base, man. I mean, his on base is 415. He's only, he's a very selective hitter. He gets on. He knows what he should poke at. I mean, I love this guy. He's a solid hitter. Ripped. And wow.
Oh, you knocked that right off right
Again,
now.
that was his second. Oh, my goodness.
That's thievery. Tyler Wise back up the box. He takes a hit away. Reinhardt's going to stay stranded on second where he had to stay for quite a while.
Yep,
hang
dancing
out.
over there.
Yeah, hang out, get the entire dance routine in. But, man, that is a heck of a catch from Tyler Wise to end the inning.
Oh, that was a great poke by Hawkins. Nothing you can do about that one. But, yeah, Wise made a leaping catch there. Nice play by Tyler Wise. Davis coming back in on the mound.
Now tell me what he's got to do to work deep into this game. We don't want to get too far ahead of
Right.
ourselves, but a 6, a 7, a something rather deep start would really help with the way that you burned arms recently, yes?
Right, I totally agree. Already he's closing these innings pretty quickly, and you're looking for that low pitch count. You're looking for strikes, few balls. You want to be making them hit. Yeah, he's only at 34. So, I mean, that's really solid so far.
Provided he doesn't get into trouble.
Right.
How long would you want to stretch JD for?
We've seen him go all game. I say, and he hasn't, been going all game as of late. And this game, I mean, considering we've been throwing a lot of arms lately, I think people are I've heard from some inside sources that some people are sore,
Yes.
I mean, a lot of people are like, hey, I can give you an inning. Hey, I can give you, you know what I mean? But as a starter, at least if he can get through 7, I think that'd be pretty amazing. But that's kind of asking a lot.
It can be. And
Yeah.
the issues with this Trine team mostly are not from hitting the baseball. They can hit the baseball just fine.
Right. And it's funny, though, because I almost feel like the score, I'm like, oh, it's only 2-0. I mean, I think, the Hornets are really getting the bats moving, but I think Thunder is ready to get theirs here. Ooh, inside pitch there. Almost got him. That's a 3-0 for number 25, Joel Walton. Strike right down the middle for a 3-1.
That's as take all the way as you'll see. That is
Yeah.
a red light. Do not swing.
Yes, exactly. I mean, if you can get a free base, and that's an outside pitch for a walk for Joel Walton, and first batter is on first.
So you've had now 3 of 4 innings, I believe, with the leadoff hitters reaching. That is the first base on balls for JD. It's something to watch, and yet, ground ball, double play, it's all forgotten about.
Right. We were just talking about, though, throwing strikes, and hopefully he can get back into this with bunt shown, fouled straight back to us. Looking to move his buddy down to second, Walter. That's Sam Beckham up to bat. DHing for the Thunder. Doesn't show. Rips into right field. Newland tracking. That's dropping. And David Steckow makes a fantastic throw. A leaping throw to a perfect bag to Cooper Mills. That's a single for Beckham.
But I hear you holding the runner there, because if you get a great jump on a ball like that, you can stretch an extra base out of it.
Yeah, and, it doesn't seem like that one, it was really tough because that could have been caught. So, Walton was, being conservative with that, but you moved both runners there. That's perfect. Bunt shown, take back for a ball on number 9, Henshin. Catcher for the Thunder. Got runners in scoring position now. The pitch and thrown back to second base to pick off Walton in there safely.
So that's the first one. You just mentioned it, but half an inning ago with Reinhardt, you say, hey, somebody's probably going to throw back and spin and go to second soon.
That's a tough, especially coming from the back. Bunt shown up first baseline. Ryer moving, and he's going to make the tag. Wow, great play from Ryer Reinhardt. That play, once again, was in that sweet spot right up right field line, and Ryer would not have been able to get to the bag. He made that leaping tag to get Henshin out. That's 1 out for the Hornets, putting runners at third and second. I mean, he did his job. That's exactly what you do. But that was almost a single.
Yeah, it is a greatly placed bunt. I'll wait for the first pitch in a moment.
Ripped to Pricing, throwing to third, looking the runner back, and made the out. Just putting that foot back on did Reinhardt. Made a good snag there. Kept the runners there. 2 outs for the Hornets.
Now that is perfect because exactly what I wanted to talk about was the improvement of Ryer's defense. The move to first base has totally helped him. It's cleared his head. It's given him such comfort. They're going to spin and throw back again naturally because we said, hey, they haven't done it yet.
Yep. And they're safely.
And yet, Ryer had made errors in a couple of back-to-back games. Now here, he comes, gets a couple of base hits, and makes a couple great picks. All forgiven, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it's all about how, and there's a strike in there for number 22, Noah Pruitt, left fielder. That's an 0-1 on him. Got 2 outs with runners on third and second. The pitch, beautiful strike, breaking ball in the outside corner. And that's an 0-2. Forgive me, I've lost what we were just talking about, Tanner.
That'll happen to you. We were talking about the improvement of Ryer's defense over at first base.
No, I think this year he's been very solid. Oh, great block by Caleb Moore. And, you know, you're going to have games where you're not going to be perfect, and that happens to everyone. But it is truly how you pick yourself up and you get right back on the horse. And he's exactly done that. And, I mean, hearing from some of the guys, it's like, oh, dang, he never makes that, and that's okay. That happens. And there's a swing and a miss, and there's a strikeout. And taken down the Thunder with runners in scoring position is Jacob Davis. And we're going.
That guy right up. Did you see him coming off the mound?
He was excited.
There is something to picking your pitcher up.
Yes.
You know, you've had a couple of base runners on. You had a couple of hairy situations. That bunt left second and third, and JD has not for a moment flinched.
Right. You know, it's all about being calm with the storm and like, hey, you know what? I got this going in there. But, yeah, just like we were talking about with making errors, it's exactly that. You got to take a moment, recognize what you did, and say, okay, I got the next one. And that's what I think these players are really doing today, as no errors, playing a lot cleaner, I think, than they have in the past few games. But, you know, we know, like, watching these teams, it's just great to see clean games.
The further note that I wanted to make on Ryer Reinhardt and the defense, had not made a single error in almost 250 chances before the previous 2 games to this one.
Right.
That is what it is, and he had picked up 2 errors there. But the leap that he had made defensively had been jumping off the page at me.
Yes. No, and then just making that little snag there from the throw from third.
And finding the bag, I've always heard, is very difficult with, like, the back foot.
Right. Oh, it is extremely hard. As well as whether deciding to tag as you catch the ball, because as your glove hand is coming back, you're capable of tagging, but that is a very uncomfortable position. So if you can make the slight little touch with the foot, that's definitely going to be a little better. Brings up Robert Newland. He's 1 for 1 on the day. Looking for another hit. Way low inside. Almost. And that's the thing. These guys, you don't see them flinch. They're like, you know, I think Coach Ott really puts that in their head of take it, boys, which is great. And that ball, another breaking inside, a little high, but hit the zone there for a strike. Yeah, that's a beautiful curveball coming down in on that left corner. And that's a single down the left field line. That's going to be 2 for Robert Newland. He's going into second, and he's sliding in safely for a double. Robert Newland's having a day, 2 for 2.
Now, that was a hose from Pruitt in left field. I want to call that out because that was a strike all the way to the bag from, 4/5 of the way down the line on the baseline, on the foul line, rather. Even so, I fully agreed. Off of the bat, yeah, okay, Rob Newland's not getting thrown out here. It was just a fantastic effort.
Yeah, beautiful on both sides. Like you said, that throw, that made it a lot closer than we thought it was going to be. I was thinking maybe that was going to be a stand-up double, but nope. I'm glad he slid in there safely because he might have not made it if he was standing up. You got Cade Pricing up to bat, showing bunt, and that's going to be a 1-0.
Leadoff hitters continuing to eat in pretty much every inning right now. Somebody's getting on right away.
Getting on. Seeing if he's going to push one down. Throw back over to Newland and safely for the attempted pickoff.
Yeah, but not so far away again, right? The guy was just picked off at first last time on base, and you're still venturing with the kind of lead like that. Wow.
Yeah, the pitch. Bunt taken back. That's a ball. 2-0 for Pricing.
I wonder if it's just utter confidence in his speed. If he's thinking, okay, if they even have me picked off, I can take off down to third base and beat the throw that would come from the pitcher to the shortstop and then the shortstop down to third base. And I think I can get there anyway.
Bunt down, third base side, running throw. And Pricing is out at first. Very close call. Almost beat it out, but moved Newland over there for a sac bunt over to third. Fantastic bunt put down by Cade Pricing. Almost beat it out. That was a very close call. What do you think, Tanner?
I would love to have the replays. You know me, I'll be as coy as ever. I will be as PC as I've got to be on it. I thought that's about as close as it comes.
I agree. Brings up Daniel Bakari.
He was hit by the pitch his first time. That was 66 hit by pitches for this lineup on the year.
Oh, my goodness.
Come on. In game 29, he nearly wore another one.
Yeah, Bakari DHing for the Hornets. Looking to hit Robert Newland in from third base. Only one down. Owen Mitchell still on the mound. Just outside low. Bakari being selective there with that breaking ball. It's great to see some new guys in the lineup. Bakari being one of them. Low outside again. Not quite. You can see Mitchell kind of kicking the dirt there a little bit. I think he's, wanting that ball to hit the corner a little bit more. And I'm thinking this pitch right here is going to be it. Got a 3-1. Ripped into left center. That's going to be down. That's going to be a double. And Robert Newland jogs in while Daniel Bakari stands up at second base. Robert Newland really took his time getting home there. And another celebratory slam there from Bakari at second. And there's another RBI, putting the score 3-0 for the Hornets.
Let me tell you what I loved about that sequence. You told the ball it was going to be a double. You said that's going to be a double, whether it likes it or not.
I knew it. I guess I could see the placement of where that was. I don't know. I could tell that one was down, I guess.
Hey, you own it. And the baseball said, yes, ma'am.
Yeah. I know. I gotta speak that in. I'm non-biased here. I gotta speak that in for Trine. I'm hoping to see that on the other side too. All right. He brings up the top of the order. Cooper Mills, one of the captains and main players of this team, one of the big hearts of this team. The pitch inside, beautiful placement on the inside high corner.
Bakari, he's also going to come off the bag a little bit, and I think he's also wanting to talk to the shortstop, Perford.
I love that.
These guys have fun playing baseball.
I know. Ripped into right field, running hard, makes the grab, and back to second is Bakari as he made a bit of a lead, no tag there, but good effort from Cooper Mills, not quite there, but good catch from right fielder Dane Du Bois on that running catch. Came a long way. I was thinking that was more of a right field, a little bit stronger hill. It kind of died out there, and I think that kind of has to do with some of the wind there. Kind of seeing those balls out to right die down a little bit. Puts that 2 outs. Beautiful outside pitch cutting across the zone for Caleb Moore.
Moore still needs a hit today. We haven't said that very often.
I know. Yeah, Caleb's been such a reliable guy, I think, and that's another one right on that outside corner. Like, I mean, he hits that. He likes that outside corner. We've been seeing a little bit more inside. Shakes off his catcher there. See what he throws. He's got an 0-2. The pitch. Right to the first baseman for a quick out. Great play by Joel Walton, and just like that, the Hornets score 1 and leave 1 stranded, and we're going to the top of 5.
So I don't think the Thunder's gloves are really the issue either.
No, they're playing
pour
great defense.
And you pour over the stats for the season. You say they're fielding 953, 44 errors total. Cole Temple has been the one guy with some struggles, and he made an error yesterday in the Adrian game. He had 17, but that's on the whole season. Nobody else with more than 8. They're not bad defending runners. They've turned 14 double plays. You've seen them flash a bunch of different places here.
Yeah.
Snagging line drive, making robberies. That was a great pick there from Walton. And they hit the ball, well enough. They hit the ball with a considerable power. They got 14 home runs throughout their lineup. There is only the pitching, the starting pitching that jumps out to me as the big thing that this team would need to become real dangerous.
Right. No, I love seeing a good defensive team, truly. That's what you got to be, but you also got to have some hitting. I'm eager to see what Trine has in store for this top of 5, as, they've not been able to get any runs across, but that doesn't mean that's not going to happen right here.
And they've been getting the base runners on against Davis, too, especially the leadoff guys.
Yeah.
That makes those a little bit more difficult.
Yeah, I'm curious to see if Davis is going to let up this first one or not. And seems like they're almost ready to go with this throwdown from Caleb Moore. And they'll be ready to go.
Sorry, we misspoke. Trine's got 19 team home runs on the year, and that's a good number. They got 7 triples. There's plenty of extra base pop all up and down the lineup. The slash coming in was 259, 359, 372. There is just, I think I would just circle the starting pitching as the one thing that's got to get better. They came in with a team 7.46 ERA. That's not really a formula for winning ball games.
Ideal, right. Well, I mean, you also looked at Hope's ERA was actually even higher than that, their average ERA for the team. And, they beat Kalamazoo College yesterday. It's just really, it's really dependent on the day, I swear. Brings up Dane Du Bois.
Yeah, if you think you know which Kalamazoo team is going to show up day to day, even more so this year, I would say, okay, so what are your Powerball numbers, right? What do you know that I don't know?
Yeah, I hate to say it, but, yeah, I think, this year has not gone perfectly by any means.
High chopper, third base, pricing, hosed.
Great throw.
All right. Cade Bryson can stay at third base,
No, that he's been making those plays all year, but it's great to see that the accuracy with those throws is right on the bag, especially with plays like that, with a little chopper like that. But yeah. They're hitting they're hitting the ball. But this brings up number 3, Schmidt-Huber, center fielder.
And like most others, he swings at the first pitch. He fouls this one off. Been a little bit late, as most have kind of on the JD fastball so far.
Yeah, Schmidt-Huber leads the Thunder in average 388. Takes a strike outside corner for an 0-2. 67 at-bats, 26 hits on the year, 3 doubles, a triple, 7 RBI.
Davis a little bit up high. Also, he's got a little bit of swing and miss in his game, too. Even with that, the on-base percentage well over 500 coming in.
Yeah, 518. Fantastic. 6 stolen bases.
And he's going to stay alive again. This is going to be beyond the bullpen. Might just find its way onto the football field with one final hop.
Yeah, as much as I love this complex, everything's a bit tight here. Like tight coordinates, yeah.
It is.
Quarters, yeah.
1-2, that's close. He checked his swing, too.
Yeah, didn't go. Got a 2-2.
Schmidt-Huber has punched out 26 times and only 67 at bats, believe it or not. He'll stay alive. This is probably Reinhardt. Called it, caught it.
Right underneath that one.
Turned into a good little battle between those two. But Jacob Davis, this is what he does. Gets on a roll, and you sort of, through the middle innings, you're like, hey, why can't we touch this guy? Why have we got nobody on base?
Right. And like we just talked about, there no leadoff guy starting on base here. So that's also just a slight improvement from last time.
Burford, the only guy 2 for 2. He's going to take a strike. He has 2 out of the 3 hits for Trine today.
Yeah, let's see what he does here. Great hitter for the Thunder.
Davis started him off with the first pitch, strike 2. Make it 2 of them.
Big cut from Burford. Had to step into the other batter's box. I think he really wanted that one.
Yeah, he let go of it.
Yeah, Burford only batting 245, but that's not showing here with 2 for 2. Inside pitch there.
Yeah, it's worth it to go inside maybe once or twice and then set up something down in a way, even in the dirt maybe.
You're seeing that breaking ball cutting across low and outside for Davis, and that's really working with some of these swing and misses.
1-2 pitch. He got a tiny little piece. Pricing again. Reinhardt stretched and got him.
Fantastic scoop from Reinhardt. Little pick over there on the right side of the bag.
1 inning ago, we sat in this exact same spot. I said, do you know how improved Reinhardt has been defensively at first base? Come on.
I know. It's just a little baby reset. I mean, he had just little things, and then now he's just shut that up, and now he's right back at what he does. And that's what's so cool about seeing people just come right back from those little things. It's just great because then it just shows what a player you are and how you can make adjustments.
And you got to watch the last several years of Kalamazoo as well. So you know the offensive numbers last year were really surprising for Reinhardt. Not nearly. Now, it was almost impossible to follow up.
Absolutely.
Arguably the best season that anyone's ever had. Probably the best season anyone's ever had here at Kalamazoo. His freshman year hitting .423. You had the 10 home runs, the 72 RBIs, All-American, this, that, and the other thing, right? Then last year, Reinhardt hits .259, drives in 28. People wanted to ask, hey, what's wrong with this guy? Well, it's the usual suspects, right? It's injuries and how those injuries throw off mechanics.
My goodness.
And then that gets all in your head. It's totally forgotten about again, right? Raking like arguably nobody else in the league.
Right. And like we talked about with injuries, Reinhardt was continuously, and this is, please correct me if I'm wrong, he was continuously struggling with some sort of issue throughout most of the season last year. And
it started when they came back.
From spring.
Right, yeah, exactly. Early in the spring.
Yep. And that's it's so hard. And we've all had it. I'm sure you have too, Tanner, with football. It's like, my freshman year, I broke my finger and played on it all season. What'd that do? That hurt. But what do? You know, you just work through it. But did I hit as well as I wanted to? Absolutely not. You know, and it's like all these things, and not trying to make excuses. But, you know, it's like with Ryer, you're probably not going to be able to put as much power on the ball if your hammy's been killing you. And I'm not quite sure what exactly he had going on last year. But, you know, he's back at it and doing amazing.
Yeah, you saw him.
Oh, no.
Oh, you knock it off right now. It's gone.
And speaking of Reinhardt being amazing, he just ripped that ball, absolute liner, right by the left field pole. Right. Wow. That was his exit velo on that. Tanner, what do you think?
Give me 106, launch angle 28.
Oh, please.
You want 110?
I don't know, but that was I don't know how somebody could be hitting a home run almost every single game at this moment right now. He had 2 home runs on Monday, 1 home run yesterday, another today. He already had a double today. Like, what is this guy on? I don't know.
Cartoonish.
And talking to Mitchell here, I mean, it truly seems like there's only been a few that are really getting a hold of his ball, and I think he's staying out there.
They may complain it's a mistake pitch. I don't know that it is. I think the only mistake is you threw him a strike. I don't know. Where
he
could
puts
you?
it everywhere. He'll hit a right field homer, center,
He's going
left.
oppo a couple of times this year.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know
He
where you're
knows-
supposed to pitch him.
I know. And this brings up Logan Lockhart, another fantastic RBI and hitter as well.
And now Mitchell has actually showed some real paint in the bottom of the zone last several innings.
Yeah, and also inside, moving inside there. And
Goes
then
back out and away naturally.
Exactly, as you should.
Just making, changing batters' eyes, make them think a little bit.
Absolutely. Now, let's take a gander at the Tigers. I do know they lost yesterday against the Brewers.
Oh, is that game? Is
Let's
that
see
starting yet?
I'm not quite sure what time they're on tonight, but
Okay. They've got 4 with KC right now, I believe. It is 1-2. This is much, as important as anything that we're doing here, isn't it?
oh, absolutely. Oh, wow.
Back where it came from. Hot shot.
Right at the head of Mitchell. And as he was coming through with his follow-through, wasn't able to make the catch. I mean, that was a fantastic shot up the middle. And it does seem that coach is coming out to talk to Mitchell, and we are calling from the bullpen.
Well, it gives us more time to talk about Ryer. So we're not through 3 whole games in the last 3 days, right? So this is 11 of 12. It's 4 home runs. It's 13 RBIs. He added another double in here. I don't know.
I think he may go down as definitely one of the best power hitters of all of Kalamazoo College baseball. And this brings me back to my freshman year in college with Blake Bean. I mean, you have some fantastic.
How long do you have to get me talking about Blake Bean? Knock it off.
I know.
Spencer Baldwin
Yes.
created the 400 average club for his
Yeah.
career. The only guy to ever do that. Spence, if you're watching, buddy, I miss you. I miss just dropping you in the lineup and you were just going to hit 400 all the time.
Oh, my gosh. So cool. I mean, it is hitting 400. And then you have
It's
guys
tough to find the words for.
I know, I'm stuttering.
It's okay.
No, I was going to say, you've had guys consistently batting in the 400s now, and it's just, and Lockhart just under now, moving upwards probably, let's see, if he's probably in the 390s now.
Yeah, with a couple of hits today.
Absolutely. Our new pitcher for the Thunder is going to be.
Well, we've certainly identified it's a lefty.
Yes, it is, and I believe that's number 31.
Yeah, Reed Courtwright. That's who you got.
Yep. Taking a look over at his stats. Yeah, Reed Courtwright, ERA of 7.43. He's got 13.1 innings thrown, given up 11 runs, 11 earned, 5 walks, and has 6 strikeouts on the year. It's always great to see, guys just getting in because, you look at sometimes really the ERA, you can't look at it because it can be so dependent on one bad inning out of the 13. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So it's great to see, especially with a lefty now bringing in. We've mostly, I think, actually all right-handed hitters currently on this lineup, throwing over to Lockhart for the pickoff attempt in there safely.
Yeah, you know something? I credit you a ton. I don't think I noticed that, but it was an all right-handed lineup.
Yeah.
Courtwright Brings it and in for a strike. Steckow watched it.
Yeah, David Steckow on the year. It's been doing well.
Little bit up high. He watches. 1-1 on him.
Yeah, batting exactly 300 for David Steckow. 100 at-bats on the dot for him. And you know what, that's probably upwards now if it's not updated. But 30 hits for him. As, you know, that's 300.
Well done.
Math.
Yeah, we got more than 4 around here.
Oh,
Now,
sure do.
Now, we glance over to the lineups, and I hadn't even got to hit on this yet, but 6 qualified hitters for Kalamazoo at 300 or better.
Yeah.
They finished with 7 of them last year, and Ryer wasn't even one of them.
Right?
Just speaks to the pure offensive versatility. This is nearly a thievery. Oh, it's going to drop and a base hit.
That's a tough catch for Dane Du Bois, and he did a great job. You know, they're playing pretty deep, and now we've seen a lot. That's a second blooper, actually, just for Thunder. That's a second blooper around that area that Du Bois has had to really come in hard and try to make that play. And I'm still thinking that's a hit, correct? Yep, that's a hit for David Steckow. I mean, that's a really hard play to make, and good effort by Dane Du Bois.
To come up empty, running all that way, getting
so
laid
tough.
out. Your glove comes off. He was sitting down there a moment, kind of.
Yeah, kind of maybe knocked the wind out of him there. He's checking on his elbow over there. Kind of got maybe a little bit of a rug burn, as you could say.
Yeah, that hurts.
Yeah, Tanner Hawkins up to bat. Strike outside.
Now that's paint.
Yeah, that was a beautiful pitch. And honestly, I'm looking right. Like, if I'm a hitter right now, taking that right side, trying to hopefully get through the 4-3, and puts down a bunt. Oh, not quite. Just behind us. It looked from my angle. I was thinking that was third base side, but for a 1-2.
Yeah, and you'll probably have to take the bunt right off. He had one pitch, one shot, did not miss your opportunity. You know how it goes.
It's hard, yep. And as many of you know, bunting on a third strike and not putting the bunt down is an out.
Yeah, it'll be off on the 1-2. And this is slow down to third. It's inside the bag.
Lockhart coming in to score, and David Steckow in safely at third, as well as Tanner Hawkins into second for a double.
Train keeps rolling. That's 5 runs on 11 hits, most of which, by the way, haven't left the infield.
Correct. No, yeah, Cole Temple almost had that one. You know, I think he was a bit shaded to his left, just kind of based on some shifting there for Tanner Hawkins' stats, and not quite able to get a glove on that, just barely inside the left field line. Brings up Robert Newland, who's got a great day for him, 2 for 2.
He laid off on the biggest bender. Man.
Holy, and that, I would not want to swing at that pitch. That was gorgeous.
You want to talk about 12 and 6. That fell off a table.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, almost did it again there, too. We got a 1-1 on Newland. That first pitch cut so hard from right to left as he, as a lefty, does it again. Oh, my goodness. That is so nasty.
I want the RPMs on this thing.
Yeah,
I want the, the StatCast. I want the TrackMan.
Yeah,
Give me all that.
That rotation is gorgeous. And that's a 1-2. Swing and a miss for Robert Newland. Outside corner. Breaking ball.
It was almost somewhat predictable just based on the first bender that he threw him. He said, oh, well, it's going to be like that at bat.
This is, I really think that Cartwright, it's truly a hit or miss for him. I mean, those balls are breaking so hard, and it's whether, they're breaking in the right areas. And as a pitcher, it seems like he's got a really good hold on, and I'm not quite sure if that's his curve or his slider, but or maybe even a cutter. I don't think it's a cutter, but that is whatever it is, it's a pretty pitch.
So he came back with the hard stuff here, and he runs it to 1 ball, 1 strike. But just got real dangerous. This thing could get broken open quickly.
Exactly.
You got 2 balls, 1 strike, 1 out. Runners on second and third for the Nets. Couple runs in the inning. There he misses high with it. And in sort of the lollipop, when that's hung but somebody gets on top of it, you may never see the ball again.
Yeah, and it doesn't seem like he's throwing too hard, too. Oh, just a foul tip. Almost in the glove of catcher Preston Henshin. Just barely. That would have been those are so nice. Nice foul tip into the glove. Strike 3. Oh, those honestly could not be more satisfying for a catcher and a pitcher for sure.
Oh, for sure.
The pitch. Inside for ball 4. Great at bat for Cade Pricing. And there's still 1 down.
Big innings.
Yeah.
This could be one really, really quickly. You got to crack down, get Bakari. If you could do it, shallow in the air, if you could even do it on the ground, get a ground ball, would you try and cut the runner down at the plate?
Oh, I'm going 4 all the way here for Thunder. I mean, if it's in the infield and then outfield, you're still, it's always you're shooting 4. I mean, that's kind of, you're always going to cut it off if it's a deep and see where you need to cut to, but being Bakari right now, he's going to be really selective and now he's got a 1-1 here. And just seeing how this ball is breaking, Tanner, what do you think he's going to be poking at?
I will allow that now after the 2-1. No worries. I'm thinking, oh boy, hitters count.
I know, right?
On the 2-1 here, I'm thinking he got to be thinking, if you get fastball, go the other way, inside out it to right field.
Yeah, and Oppo, and looking at the shading here, got a big gap in right center. Big cut from Bakari, and just for that out, he was looking for that. That was a beautiful outside high pitch he wanted to take there,
But you're exactly right, too. The center fielder is playing a little bit to our left of second base.
Yes.
Over to the left center gap, and he's thinking, yeah, right center is juicy.
Yeah, and if you also look, the pitch, beautiful cut across, not quite there for a full count on Bakari. But looking at right fielder Dane Du Bois, he's pretty shallow as, he's kind of learning that ball's dying out there. The pitch, and popped up. See if first baseman makes the catch, no tag, and there's 2 outs. First baseman Joel Walton made a good grab there toward the fence there.
So he can pick them too, and he can move. That was nearly up to the dugout. It's one of those we got to throw our hands up, shield our eyes, lean out the window, and
Yep.
hopefully the shadow and the roof of the dugout and all won't block us.
Right, and also this weather, despite being cloudy, it is perfect ball playing weather. As
I'm here for it.
You don't want the sun. I mean, that's one more thing to worry about. We did have several sun balls on Monday, and today we don't have to worry about that for both teams. Brings up Cooper Mills.
He is behind 0-1. He showed bunts. Now that could be fun.
Little push bunt?
Yeah. And up to the first base line. That's been where the guys have chosen to go for the most part.
But now, and also you think about it too, you have a lefty on the mound. Beautiful breaking ball, top of the zone.
Yeah, as he gets that across, you're talking about coming off of the mound and how lefties are known to field the position well.
Yes. Well, just you don't have to make that turn. You're able to field and throw right there without turning. Ripped to second base. They're going to go 2, and that's the 3rd out of the inning, leaving 3 on for the Hornets, but scoring 2 for 5-0.
You nailed it. It could have become a very big inning. What did I say in the middle of that inning? It could easily have 5 runs, 11 hits, most of that all on the infield. You had Reinhardt, of course. He unloaded. That ball got tattooed. You have Reinhardt
Only
also.
A solo, though. It's tough.
True. It's true. But after that, no more extra base hits for the frame. You have base runners all over the place, but now you're also going to have the left on base numbers starting to creep up a little bit as well. And the only other extra base hits you've got Hawkins, Newland, and Bakari have some doubles.
As well as Mr. Reinhardt.
Yeah,
The
that's
double.
right. That was the one out to left center.
Yep. Yeah, I was like, oh, I still can't get over that, but, I will. Yeah, looking at full stats today, only a couple offers on the day, but still productive at bats for the Hornets. And looking, at the Thunder, I think Burford is 2 for 3, as well as Beckham 1 for 2 DHing. But otherwise, those 3 hits on the day for the Thunder, they're ready to break something open here for sure. Throw down from Moore's right on the bag, and Davis is still on the mound for the Hornets, going to the top of 6.
Out batting number 1, Tyler Wise.
All right. Tyler Wise, he's going to dig in. Wise has made a couple of snags from the line drives.
Yes, he has.
He watches. Strike 1. Jacob Davis working into the 6th inning. We have discussed how deep he may go.
Right.
You said 7 was a good number. 7 is a good number. 9 is more fun.
9 is more fun.
And yet there is arm considerations to make. This is a long run. Newland ran forever for it.
Yes, he did. Right behind the bullpen for the Thunder, just outside, kind of tailed to the right despite the wind blowing the opposite direction. So got a good piece on that for Wise.
0-2, Davis.
Ooh.
Buzz cut.
Yeah, way up on the head there. Got a 1-2.
I had presumed Newland wasn't going to get there. I didn't even look out the window on that last ball.
Yeah, you didn't.
Shame on me.
I'm not going to lie. I was following that one pretty closely and fouled back onto the softball field. Yeah, Wise is doing a great job fouling these guys off, waiting. You got to swing if it's there. My dad, oh my goodness, my whole life, just do not strike out looking. And piece to right field as a single for Wise.
Okay, 3rd time through the lineup. Have they figured something out?
We shall see, but that was a fantastic at-bat for Wise. I mean, he fouled off, and he was down in the count the entire time. He only had a 1-2, and then managed to just dice that right side. Beautiful hit.
Joel Walton. Again, this is the 3rd time through. They always say, hey, be careful with your pitcher at this point. Guys have started to see him a bunch. Close miss from JD.
Mm-hmm.
The ball outside. That was pitch number 67 for Davis. So let's talk about that, too. This is top 6. You already have one guy on. And you should get another one right here. We've seen stranger things. But shortstop, Mills, caught it.
Yep, right under there. And that what also is good there too for both sides is you're not seeing too much backpedaling. You're not seeing too much of the wind taking it, out, which is ideal for the defense for sure.
Sam Beckham, he steps in 1 for 2.
That's a nice last name,
isn't it?
See if he can bend it like Beckham.
Well, I tell you, JD's going to keep bending him. This guy is spinning right now. He's got just 4 punch-outs, but the swing and miss stuff has still been there. Hasn't needed it a ton, I think.
Yeah, no, he's just given a lot of put-outs here within the field, and he does it again. Oh,
yeah.
We'll see about it.
Bobble, the late throw with recovery. What?
Yep, he did get that. I was going to say, I almost spoke too soon for Cade Pricing, but he made the play.
Okay, so that's back to hustling out of the box, right?
Yeah, he made a good hustle there. He did. Yeah, Beckham was out of the box. He was working hard on that one, but that was a bit closer than I think Pricing would have wanted. But, hey, he stuck with it and got the out, so it doesn't even matter.
You do have a lead runner who moves up to second base. They've got one in scoring position now still. They have not cracked the scoreboard here against Jacob Davis in the 6th inning. Davis, strike across. Parker Henshin, the catcher.
Yep, Henshin had a sack moving his runner last time up.
They'll spin, throw, close. Oh, the infield had cleared.
Oh, my goodness.
Be still my beating heart.
Cooper Mills was very eager to toss that ball to the mound, but not quite. Very, very close play and good effort from both Jacob Davis and Cooper Mills. Going for the pitch. And just fouled off right to the dugout of the Hornets.
All right, whoever's in that dugout, just 3 or 4 spaces to the left of that pole, they got to make that pick.
I know, not quite did they make that.
I can't quite pick out who it
I
is,
know,
but come on.
I'm not sure.
You got to have that one, see it all the way in the glove.
Got an 0-2 and number 9, Henshin. Fouled back, right side. Doing a great job fouling those away. Gotta dig until you find one.
Davis crossing the 75 pitch threshold in a moment here. Another 0-2. That is cranked.
That's
back, gone!
Fantastic rip from Henshin. Deep left. And that ball landed right about where Reinhardt's landed, but a bit more, I'd say a little bit more, what's the word? Slope to it.
So they're both fun in their own ways.
Absolutely.
They're both beautiful. Let's take a moment, as Jacob Davis is touched up here. We get to do this. We get to sit right here. We get to enjoy 9 innings. And it is so special. It is a game which just brings magic.
I know, both sides. We love to see it. I'm a Hornet. I'll always be a Hornet. But
Sure.
when I'm on here, I truly am just happy to see people succeed, and that's a fantastic hit for Henshin.
So, it's a different ball game in a ton of ways, too. Let's bring it back to this.
Yeah.
It's a 5-2 game. That's 2 runs, 5 hits for Trine. They just stung Jacob Davis with a 2-run homer from Henshin, the catcher. And now, if he's got to throw a bunch more pitches, and then you start dipping into the bullpen, a lot to think about. I don't believe we have anybody up in the Kalamazoo pen yet.
We don't. Nope.
Which speaks to the plan for JD for today, I think.
Right. No, ripped into center. Lockhart makes the grab. And there, the Thunder is retired, but not without 2 scoring with a beautiful 2-run home run from Henshin.
You get to turn it right back to the bats after every 3rd out. That's what I know about pitchers, and that's certainly a good mentality to have because you get 2, 3, 4 for this inning in the Kalamazoo lineup, right? Caleb Moore, Reinhardt, Lockhart, those 2 have been, well, for the entire season, for their entire careers, really kind of nigh on impossible to get out sometimes. That's all great for Kalamazoo. But, again, very different ball game. You want to tack on insurance runs right now.
I'll say it once, I'll say it again. This Hornet team never stops scoring. They never, they'll be down just like yesterday. They will be down and, even still lose like what happened yesterday, but it doesn't matter. They're still going to put up a fight, and they are up right now, but by no means is this, they're not comfortable with this. I know Micah is not comfortable with just a 3-run lead for the Hornets, so I'm eager to see what they do in this bottom of 6 here, as we have Caleb Moore up to starting the lineup here. Catcher, he's 0 for today, and he's due. I think I heard yesterday, he in his past several games, he hasn't been his ideal, continuously 1-hit game at least, but he's still batting in insane numbers. It just shows how he's been such a consistent hitter. He's down to 442, which is still fantastic numbers. But, I think in his mind, knowing how well he started, he's ready to get a hit in this game. He got a hit yesterday, I do know. He was, I believe, 1 for 4. Correct me if I'm wrong.
What I want to spin it as, and feel free to check on that. Sorry I didn't get to watch the Tiger game yesterday. What I want to spin it as, he's just totally due. This is, as he is taking up and in here, it's 1-1. This is a fantastic time to get a leadoff hitter on.
Exactly.
To have somebody behind him see multiple pitches, Reinhardt, Lockhart, whoever.
And
he's going to jump on this too. I was saying.
I sensed that from him. He was so smooth with that swing too. He just had he just let that bat through the zone, had some good extension on it, not too hard, just put a little poke on it and easily put that ball into shallow left center. And he did go 1 for 5 yesterday. And then 0 for 5 on the 14th, and then 2 for 4. You know, it's been still great for him. But I think in I mean, his starting, there were many multiple hit games for a long time in there. He had a hitting streak. Let's count here. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, as you're doing that, we do have 0 for 2 here on Reinhardt, who is probably the only guy right now that's going to be able to easily chase him down for the batting average title in the league.
Right.
Good problem to have.
Oh my goodness, yes. From
Reinhardt is punched on strikes. Yeah, that's going to be a long trot back there. Oh, it's visceral pain that Ryer's feeling right now.
yeah.
Lockhart coming up, 1 out.
You know, coming back to Caleb Moore, he had I believe, 13-game hitting streak with several of those being multiple hit days. I mean, that's a long hitting streak.
That is a tear, absolutely. This is slow, on the ground to short. They're going to have to hurry. He beat it. Lockhart, base hit.
Yeah, infield single for Lockhart, and that's, as you say, that's why you run through the ball.
5 runs, 13 hits, and this continues to be done with baseballs hit on the infield primarily. Small ball. It's just not broken.
And I take it back. He had 15-game hitting streak
Wow.
back in early season, and now he's back to a 1 game, and that's, I mean, before that he was 0 for 5, but then he was 2 for 4, and then 0 for 3, 1 for 3, 3 for 4. I mean, this guy is definitely a consistent hitter for the Hornets, and that's Caleb Moore I'm talking about. But now going on to David Steckow.
Yeah, this
baseman.
guy is also a consistent hitter. I don't know if you knew that.
He is. And hit by pitch is David Steckow once again, and that will be his 10th hit by pitch of the season. Ouch.
Yeah, they just do that around here. You may have noticed by this point.
Yep, I have. The Hornets like to get hit.
67 hit by pitches
Oh my
on the year.
goodness.
And it's also been an issue for the Trine staff.
Yes.
I mean an issue, right? They had come in with 62 hit batters of their own. They plunked a couple of more. You had Bakari I was saying that one's going to get in a run too. This is Hawkins.
And it wasn't like, yeah, that ball broke hard inside. And coach is coming out to talk to Reed Courtwright. You know, he was really throwing, yet they're going to the bullpen now. Yeah, right in this inning wasn't quite, I think, as he expected, but, you know, a good outing for him. Yeah, but two hit by pitch right in this last one here, and that runner coming in to score. Technically an RBI for Tanner Hawkins.
Take him how you can get him. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So the line on the starter, Owen Mitchell, we didn't even get to finish it. There was just a lot going on in that inning when he departed.
Yes.
But he did own a base runner, and Mitchell will end up working now 4 innings, gave up 5 runs, all earned, unfortunately, and 9 out of the 13 hits, walked 1, gave up 3 doubles. Courtwright, though, he was touched up for the Reinhardt homer, which we could be talking about forever.
Yeah.
That was fun.
That's what's so hard coming in as a reliever, and then that's on you. You know, when it's tough because it's like, oh well, whose earned is that? You know, but it really does, you know, come in when the pitcher comes in and who puts everybody on. But looks like we got a new pitcher, and that's gonna be, I believe, number 34, if I can see correctly.
Let's see. You've got a 34, a 35, a 36.
I think it's 36. Excuse me.
All right, so we'll go with 36 for now. Cole Clements.
It is 36. Clements.
Well, feel free to, during the break here, you know, take a sip of water, grab a snack, grab a drink. You know, this is a good time for it. Second pitching change for the Thunder. They have been known to piece games together when they don't get particularly deep starts from starters. They had nobody coming in with more than 31 in a third innings. And typically, the criteria that you'll hear for being a quote-unquote qualified starter, qualified for things like ERA title and that kind of thing, is 1 inning pitched per team game played. And so only 2 members of Thunder have crossed that threshold so far, which unsurprisingly was the starter today, Owen Mitchell, as well as their top starter, Rylan McBride.
Yeah, Cole Clements on the year, 5.23 ERA with a 1.35 WHIP. Throwing 10.1 innings on the year.
And he's got to come in. You've got one out.
It's so tough.
Newland at the plate. Oh, boy.
These are the moments, like, take a breath and know you're capable. That's what I always say. It's just like your coach puts you in this for a reason. Popped high in the air.
And coach might have made a good choice. 2 outs on just 2 pitches.
Beautiful catch by shortstop Burford.
That is, 1 out was recorded, but there's now 2 outs in the inning. You catch my drift.
Yes, yes.
So pricing, he'll get another crack. Base is still juiced, but 2 outs. It would be a huge strand here for Clements. It would feel a whole lot different, though, on the net side if they were able to scratch across really any right here. Everybody talks about Grand Slam distance. You're going to hear that almost once a game on most broadcasts, right? You've got it intact right now, but only to tie, right, and not to go ahead.
Right. Now well, and granted, that's the other team because now they're up. So we have Cade up to bat, and he's got a sack and a walk on the day. But yeah, no, he would love to tack on 4 more runs, wouldn't he?
Pricing
Ooh.
tagged it to the gap.
That's gorgeous.
1 run, 2 runs.
Oh, he's sending.
Look
Tanner
at Coach
Hawkins.
Ott. Come on. Base is cleared.
Oh, my goodness. That's exactly what you want. If you can't do a grand slam, have a 3-run RBI. Just double. Beautiful gapper, left center.
Steckow, Hawkins, Lockhart, all in. 9-2 Nets rolling.
Yeah, no, you can't really get much better than that, especially if you're not particularly a home run hitter. So, and Ryer Reinhardt did that on Monday. He did the exact same thing. Bases loaded, 3 RBI double, and Cade Pricing just did it again here for the Hornets, putting them at a 9-2 lead.
That's 19 RBIs for him. Him and Lockhart are going to be now tied for 3rd on this lineup with those 19.
Beautiful.
And you know something? To his credit, Pricing does have 1 home run on the year. Just wanted to slip it in.
Okay, thank you.
Sure. And
yes,
that's
he did it during spring break. I do remember. Yeah, that he does have some power. It is not easy to hit it out of this park at Woodworth as well.
How often have you heard that from guys, from hitters around here? They're saying, oh, my gosh, I got a hold of this ball, and I crushed it, this, that, and it died at the track.
Yes, especially looking at center. That is a deep shot. Left and right seem pretty reasonable to me, but center does look pretty deep. I do not know how far exactly.
Oh, I've asked the players. And I'll tell you what they'll tell you. I'm so glad that this is a foul ball. We got a chance to say it.
Yep.
They will say it's more than deep enough. They will say it's deeper than I wish it was. The pitchers, well, they'll say, no, that's fine. Whatever it is, I don't know.
It's good. I don't know what it is.
I don't care if it's 320. I don't care if it's 480.
Yeah, Bakari up to bat, got a 1-2. The pitch, way outside, good block by number 9, Henshin.
9 runs, now 14 hits. That's all you have to say is, hey, there hasn't been a lot of hard contact. There hasn't been a lot of extra bases. Speak it and it shall appear kind of thing. A 2-2, runner goes, and foul. He'll have to head right back.
Yeah, 2 outs, got a 2-2 count. Pricing is ready to score if he's capable, if Bakari puts this in play.
Kalamazoo would turn the lineup back over if he reaches. It would be the 5th time through.
Yeah, much different game. Fantastic block. Wow, Henshin kept that in front, keeping pricing at second. That is so much more difficult than you think. That ball, you have to slide your hips just in time with your chest bearing. Again, he does it again. I mean, and there's a walk for Bakari, but truly keeping the runner at second with 2 outs, and that's a tough at bat for Clements, because you want to get out of this. I can sense that right here.
And I think you would then have the threat of wild pitch in the back of your mind during each delivery, yes?
Yeah. No, it's, as a catcher, you're trying to keep absolutely everything in front, but also focus on the runners, also calling pitches, all these things, and sliced foul.
You mean to tell me catcher is an unenviable position, yeah? In late innings, in games that you need to win, in conference games where the race is tight.
Oh, in my opinion, try not to be biased here.
Say it's the hardest, please. Say it's the hardest.
I think it's one of the hardest positions in baseball and softball.
All right.
Sure.
I'm still satisfied with it. I'll take it.
I won't say, a foul tip in the glove for Cooper Mills.
Well, Henshin just proved there. That was a fantastic snag. Now, it's only strike 2, but it's exactly what you mentioned a couple innings ago about foul tipping into the glove, that being difficult yet so satisfying behind the plate.
Yes. No, Henshin is doing a fantastic job behind the plate.
0-2, the self-preservation move of the century. He was almost a dentist without a license.
Oh, my gosh. Clements made a fantastic grab right up the middle, almost at his face, for the 3rd out, a bottom of 6.
Yeah, we're through 6 innings. Let's talk about this ball game. The last 3 innings for Kalamazoo offensively, kind of an explosion, kind of where they're supposed to be offensively, yeah?
I do agree. Yeah, put on 1, 2, and 4 in the last 3 innings, and that's definitely the Hornet team I have seen and known. And what did I say? I said, let's see what he does. Jacob Davis is out for the 7th. We will see. I was curious after last inning if he was going to stay, but I love to see it. I love the challenge because, yeah, he only gave up that home run. This whole game he's been very solid, and now they've tacked on those 4 more runs. It's 9-2, and he's still feeling good. I mean, obviously he wouldn't be out there if he wasn't feeling good. So kudos for Jacob Davis continuing to shut this game down.
Through 6 innings, you can see the line score reads, Kalamazoo got the 2 in the first. Then there was a couple innings scoreless, but you said it. 7 runs over the last 3 innings is huge, and Davis only got touched up for the 2-run homer in the top of the 6th inning. Had been pretty much what you've come to expect from him the entire rest of the ballgame.
Right, and I love seeing Coach being able to bring these guys back out and let them do their thing, because, yeah, you get hit for a second, but doesn't mean you can't finish out the rest. That's a gorgeous strike in the outside corner. Peyton that one is Jacob Davis. And up to bat, number 22, Noah Pruitt. The pitch just outside, well framed by Caleb Moore.
That did make 20 home runs for the Trine lineup on the year. And they're really challenging Adrian at the top. And Adrian has been just on a tear. They've gotten hot at a very correct time for them.
Oh, my goodness, yeah. And, talking about standings for the MI delay, that ball's fouled back for a 2-2. For 22, Pruitt. Yeah, talking about MIAA standings, you want to give us a little rundown on that, Tanner?
I will gladly, following the 2-2.
Ripped way high is Cooper Mills calling everybody off, making the grab for the first out. And Pruitt is retired, bringing up Dane DuBois.
All right, good timing. So Adrian has certainly gotten hot at the right time. They're 10-2. They are a half game ahead, though. That's it, of Calvin in 2nd place. Alma going to be sitting in 3rd right now. And crucially, Albion at 6 and 6th. That's the 4th spot right now. That is, if the season ended today, it would be Albion getting that 4th spot, Kalamazoo out of the tournament.
Right.
They have so rarely found themselves in that spot where they even
Yeah.
had to think about, are we
Not
going to make the
being
tournament?
in the tournament, exactly.
You're exactly right.
That's a swing and a miss for Du Bois, and that's a second swing and a miss, making it 0-2 as that ball is cutting hard to the right outside, low outside corner. But yeah, no, it's definitely not the conference play the Hornets have wanted. Ripped into left, and that's going to be 1, maybe 2. It's going to be 2. He's going to be standing up at second. And is he rounding? He is, but he's there at 2, staying there. And that's a double for Du Bois. Beautiful hit right to the warning track for Dane Du Bois.
And you continue to will the baseball. You say, this is going to be a double. And even as if talking directly to the batter out of the box, right? Hey, look, you can't just take one base. You've got to go. You've got to stretch this. But it's important in the ball game as well to get a base everywhere that you can.
Absolutely. You have to be aggressive, especially for the Thunder here, as, they are down. And that's a great, they got 1 down, but now they got a guy in scoring position. And this brings up number 3, Cole Schmidhuber.
I will round out the standings real quick.
Yeah,
so Kalamazoo 5-7 in MIAA play.
Yeah.
Hope at 4-8. They have had their struggles, and they're 9-21 overall on the year. And then the bottom 2 coming into play today, Trine and Olivet tied at 3-9. Mathematically, every team is still capable of playing their way into or out of the tournament. That very rarely happens at this point.
Yeah, that's a great stat, Tanner. I didn't even realize that everyone was so capable. And they're going to attempt to pick off and no throw. And they're going to reset the clock. And they get a 1-1 on Schmidhuber.
Adrian and Calvin also have won 6 apiece for the longest streaks.
Gorgeous breaking ball outside corner.
That is 1-6 in a row apiece. So they're both getting hot on a tear. Everybody's beating up on, Trine and Olivet at the very bottom. But it could flip today.
Yeah. The pitch to the 5-6 hole. To pricing to Reinhardt, a 6-3 put out there. And, yeah, that was almost Cooper Mills' ball, but pricing swept through. Great movement from the third baseman to make the out and keeping Du Bois at second.
You know whose input I would like to hear about that and the difficulty? Is Bella Caza from softball.
Oh, absolutely.
And she's got the hose, too, from third base.
She does. One of my very good friends, absolute angel. We go way back. But no, Bella Caza, third baseman for Kalamazoo Hornets softball. She has been one of the, I will say it again, and I've said it to her so many times, she has some of the best hands I've ever seen on a third baseman for softball. And I love to see the movement, the continuously moving through the ball as you're, fielding. And she represents that as well as pricing here, as he just moved through and made a fantastic throw. But, yeah, no, I love both of these sports very much. But, yeah, with baseball having these 90 feet paths, it's a little bit different with, getting the ball out of your hand in comparison to softball, because I will say there's really no time to shuffle in softball, if you know what I'm talking about. I mean, that's a 60-foot base path, and you got to get that glove or get the ball in out of the glove very fast. Quick pickoff attempt, safe, and is Du Bois at second. Great throw by Jacob Davis. But no, with baseball, with that one, that was kind of a short hopper, so Pricing had to get that one out pretty quickly, but made a fantastic play.
JD's still going to have to work out of the stretch.
And there's a strike in there on number 5, top of the order, Luke Burford.
The 4th time through, it's going to be even more difficult for Davis.
Yeah, once you're seeing a pitcher right up the middle, and that's going to be snagged by David Steckow. Fantastic throw, but not in time for 5 to beat it out. Base hit there for the leadoff, Luke Burford.
And he's got 3 knocks.
Yes, he does. What a game.
How often do you see a guy who's really seeing Jacob Davis very well? You don't say that often,
No,
but this guy's
not
on
at
it.
all. Yeah, that's his 3rd hit. He's 3 for 4 on the day. 750. Ooh, you love those numbers, don't you? Now we got corners and got 2 out for the Hornets with Burford on 1st and Du Bois on 3rd. Jacob Davis to Wise. Gorgeous strike. He's living on that right corner. Just low in the zone. Don't know what just happened there. There was a little... Oh, ripped into lefts. Back goes Hawkins. Still going back. Makes the running grab. Fantastic catch by Tanner Hawkins in left field with a back step going hard left. And retired our 2 left on base for the Thunder. And Jacob Davis throws through 7. Good for him.
The mild arrhythmia as that ball came off the bat.
Man,
it had the sound.
Yeah.
It had the launch angle.
It did.
And you gave me another one of those looks over here. Uh-oh.
That was Tanner Hawkins made a good grab there. Great drop step and just running catch. Almost over his right shoulder that ball came. Like kind of back turned almost just slightly, but yeah, great grab. And now pitching still number 36, and that is Clemens.
Clemens did well considering where he came in,
Yes.
but you still had pricing with the biggest hit probably of the ball game so far, the 3-run bases clearing double.
Yeah.
I presume that those runs will be charged to Courtright. Yes, I believe Courtright had owned all those. Let me check on it for
I
you.
do believe so.
Yeah, that's right. So Clemens comes up with a clean sheet. He records the last couple of outs, and you have 4 runs charged to Courtright, which belies how well he threw for most of his time out there, too.
Yeah, brings up Caleb Moore. As we were saying, he was due, and he delivered last time up to bat. And he's 1 for 4 on the day. Ready for another hit as the leading average hitter on this Hornet team. He loves starting off the team, especially, with this is the 3rd pitcher for the Thunder. Being a new pitcher for Moore here, you're not quite sure what he's going to be throwing. Chopped left side, third baseman making the throw and put out a 5-3 put out there, and Caleb Moore is retired just like that. And brings up Logan Lockhart. Oh, I'm so sorry, Ryer Reinhardt.
Well, that's how many times we've spun through this lineup.
Right.
And Kalamazoo just does that, right? You're like, I got to see this guy again.
Yeah. And I'm curious what they're going to throw Ryer here. And, they're going to be throwing. I'm honestly curious if they're going to intentionally walk, just of how dangerous he's been.
With the bases empty, this is the one guy who would get that Barry Bonds treatment, right?
Absolutely. He
Forget
would go.
about it.
Yeah, he would go 4 for 5. Yeah, no, they're throwing all outside here. And also not quite sure if Clemens is intentionally doing that or if he's not. Obviously, you're not going to be wanting to throw anything super in the zone for Reinhardt, as he's been absolutely crazy at bat. But yeah, 2-0. Yeah, once again in that right batter's box there. Excuse me, left batter's box there. Going for 3-0, seeing what Clemens does here. Excuse me, can't speak. And outside, 4-4. And on base is Reinhardt.
Yeah, they call that pitching around him.
Oh, yeah.
Let's call it what it is there, because
Yeah, I agree.
a single pitch to hit is one too many pitches to hit in an at-bat like that.
Yeah, if I'm Clemens, I completely understand, because you just can't really have any guys in scoring position again. That ball's way up on Lockhart. But, yeah, putting that at 1-0.
Reinhardt was punched out his last time out, so he ended that, ridiculous streak of every at-bat he just gets on somehow and does damage somehow.
Yeah, every single player in the Kalamazoo lineup has a hit today, which is awesome to see. And we also have a pinch hitter, a substitution coming in. Center fielder now going to be Cam Kelly, and hitting in the
should be the seventh slot, I think.
spot. Yes, correct. Thank you.
So that does come with a defensive change as well. Lockhart will move from center to right field.
Indeed.
And Rob Newland out of the ballgame.
Yeah, we've seen Cam Kelly come in several times as of late as that substitution. But yeah, Lockhart up to bat, 3 for 4 on the day. Ball inside. Got a 3-1. Being very selective, and as I've said it many times, this is the perfect. I mean, obviously, like 3-0, but you're really not going to swing on a 3-0 most of the time. But a 3-1 is so ideal, and that's going to be high and outside for a ball 4, and that's going to be 2 walks in a row for Clements, putting runners in scoring position for David Steckow.
Steckow joined the 100-hit club early on in the season. I think that was on the spring break trip.
Yeah, definitely been a key player for the Hornets since freshman year. He's been consistently playing. Pitch to him, low in the dirt for ball 1. Yeah, Steckow has got 16 RBI in the year. On base, 374.
Before factoring in the base hit plus getting hit by the pitch today.
Exactly. And now, correct me if I'm wrong, I did say this earlier, and now I'm rethinking about it.
Please tell me it's a scoring decision. I love to talk this.
I was going to say hit by pitch, scoring a runner. Is that an RBI? I said it was an RBI earlier, but now I'm thinking it might not be.
So certainly base on balls, that is a bases loaded walk. We know that those are.
Right.
Do you know anybody we could ask about this?
I think I have a person next to me.
Can we just get a thumbs up or down and we'll be satisfied?
So being that I was correct, Steve.
That's all we want to hear. That's all we want to hear is a simple yes or no from our stats information department. Thank you.
The question was if my friend Rachel is giving me a head nod. I think, okay, good. I thought so, but I hate to be wrong on the air. So thank you to my amazing stat team here next to me, Steve and Rachel. Amazing people.
The ESPN stats and information department, basically.
And we got a 2-2 on David Steckow, straight to the shortstop, right over the shoulder, kind of kept it in front. And that's going to be an error, unfortunately, for shortstop Luke Burford.
Yeah, he was just eaten up by that ball.
And you know what, too? Great base running by Reinhardt, because that was quite a distraction. And that's what you got to do. You got to be, obviously, can't be hit by the ball, but causing a distraction so it's not runner's interference as well. Like, that was great, because that now everyone's moved, and David Steckow's on base. Brings up Tanner Hawkins. Strike on the outside corner for him for an 0-1. And bases loaded with 1 out for him as well. And he's ready to put this ball in play for now. He's got a 1-1, but I'm eager to see what Mike Ott has in store, if there's any sneaky things going to happen too, because Tanner Hawkins is a quick player as well. Ball high.
Boy, I had Reinhardt taking a couple of steps extra on the lead at third base. I thought, squeeze. I think it's going to be off now on a 3-0.
I think so as well. Yep, Clements, it got a 2-1 actually. Our scoreboard got, and now it's a 3-1, I believe. Yep, the scoreboard now is updated. There we go. It's honestly, though, it is about the speed. And I don't know if Reinhardt is the best guy for that at third. nothing against you, Mr. Reinhardt. And that is a ball for jogging in, I should say, is Reinhardt.
This is going to
scoring.
get back to Ryer, and he's going to say, hey, I heard this and that in the
No,
bottom of the
Ryer,
7th,
no.
and he's going to say, I just want to talk about this, guys. Can we just have a chat? And
You
you know
know-
something? I will take it up with Ryer right to his face, and he knows I will.
Yeah, yeah. You know, like I said, it just comes down to the stolen bases, in my opinion. And, you know, he's only got you know what? 3, though? Like I had said earlier, 3 for 4. We'd love to see it. I mean, you see Cooper Mills with 18 for 21, Robert Newland 12 for 13.
Kalamazoo, as a team, they lead the MIAA. I think we mentioned that towards the top of the game.
Yep. But, no, I mean, with any team, it doesn't matter who you are. You're just going to have some people that maybe you won't call the squeeze on.
And I know what you mean. It is a strategic move, and that's the funniest thing about it, because down at third base, that head coach Mike Ott, 13 years in, is, far and away by leaps and bounds the winningest coach ever. You're looking for win number 273 today.
Wow.
4 of the last 5 seasons have been in the top 5 all time for single season program wins. Literally every single year, he just reloads.
Right.
They bring in new players. They have some guys graduate. They have some guys leave for whatever other reason.
Right.
And they just figure it out. This season has been more of a struggle than we've seen in a very, very long time. It is all forgiven if you just get to that tournament. If you just claim that 4 spot before
absolutely.
the final day.
And, we've seen it, too, where this Kalamazoo College team is so stinking good going into the tournament, and they can't quite clinch it. It's right there, and we've seen that the last couple times,
That's why the 2022 team is so special in my heart. The gobsmacking that they went and gave Hope over at Hope in
Yes.
that final just ran them off the map
Mm-hmm.
and won the tournament with practically zero opposition in that. The way that team caught fire at the absolute perfect time. It was 1 through 9 in the lineup. It was every single starting
Every
pitcher.
single
It was the
person.
bullpen. It was
Yeah.
every defensive replacement. You name it, everywhere. A pinch runner. They just hit the stride like you've never seen. It's hard to explain, but when a team's in that kind of magical run, you just know it, and you have to take the time to appreciate it.
Right. And we got a new pitcher in for the Thunder, and that's going to be Kissinger, right-handed pitcher, number 8. Stephen Kissinger's 3.86 ERA on the year with 7 innings pitched and 6 strikeouts in there as well. Strike inside. That was a great pitch on Cam Kelly. Now coming into hit for Robert Newland and into center field as well. Bases loaded, 1 out for Cam Kelly. Low and outside, breaking ball for the right-handed pitcher. Got a 2-1 for Kelly. Kelly, a junior, I believe chemistry major, if I'm not misspoken. Ripped right into a little blooper into left center, and David Steckow moving home. It's going to be close. In there to score. Face first. Wow. Great slide by David Steckow, and that is a 2-run RBI for Cam Kelly, just over the head of the shortstop, Burford.
And the walk-off run rule. Oh, I had
didn't
been
even-
lulled to sleep. Had you?
I was wondering. I was like, oh, everyone's coming out. And unfortunately, yeah, that is a mercy rule. That is a 12-2 mercy in the bottom of the 7th. Yeah, 10 after 7. That's that, Tanner.
Your unconventional run ruling and the walk-off single comes in the first at-bat for Cam Kelly. I'm here for it.
That's a great feeling for Cam Kelly coming in. You know, you hadn't even gone into the field yet. You're just, at this point, pinch hitting, ready to go in for center. But, you know, you're just doing your job. And that was a perfectly placed hit right in shallow left center, right over the head of the shortstop. And just like that, that's the 2 runs you needed to end the game.
Let's talk about a shot in the arm to take out frustrations that have mounted throughout the season, to get this game, which was moved up a day, so now you get an extra day of rest tomorrow before heading to Trine to wrap up the weekend series. Yeah, that's all huge. You had 12 runs on now 15 hits for the final here. And Jacob Davis, now you can't retroactively create, can you retroactively create a complete game? That is
a great question.
That's going to be one of the more difficult rulings as far as scoring this one.
Through 7 being a complete game. Steve Whiting is nodding his head yes. So that is a complete game. 7 hits on the day given up by Jacob Davis, only allowing 2 runs, and both are earned, I believe.
Yeah, that's right.
Because it was the home run, yes.
Oh, yeah. When you say earned, that doesn't do him justice. You say earned. That ball was tattooed.
That ball was a great, yes. No, that was a fantastic hit.
It went out to long left field, and there was that second fence up there that sits behind the fence. You know, that's the fence for the houses back there. And it was, boy, bordering on coming all the way up to that. That was Henshin.
Yes, it was Henshin.
For the only 2 earned runs off of Jacob Davis.
Yeah.
But really everything else as advertised with this guy. He does not get rattled. He does not get off his game, and he throws a ton of strikes, walked only 1.
Right, dropped 6 eggs on the day. I mean, that's really hard to do. And despite, I mean, that's 1 hit that caused that. Technically 2, because you got to put a guy on. But it's like, that is a great day in the books for Jacob Davis, as well as that's what you need behind you is your offense. And the Hornets really showed up today and played cleanly, no errors on the board. We love to see that. I mean, you know, there was that tough play for shortstop Luke Burford on the other side for the Thunder, but that was still a tough play to make, considering there was a lot of chaos going on, bases loaded, but still a very clean game from both sides, and that's what makes this game so fun, is just the back and forth banter and everything like that. But the Hornets definitely spoke up today, that's for sure.
And I hear, as I'm synthesizing, a lot of what you've said there as well. This was the perfect formula. This is a team that can get it all turned around, that can get to where they need to be, and then make the tournament run. With 12 runs on 15 hits, that can do it.
Yeah, it can. Yeah, 15 hits. That's wonderful to see. And 12 runs, too. You don't see too many left on. I mean, that can always be improved, but, you know, you can't get a hit every time. We saw through the order every single person hit, including Cam Kelly, that went 1 for 1 right there at the end. That's awesome to see.
Yeah, even Rob Newland, as he had come out, he had a couple of hits as well with a double. And we'll just breeze through the stats for you. We've already mentioned 12 runs on 15 hits. Kalamazoo got 2 in the very first inning, then 1, 2, 4, 3 for the final 4 innings to create that run rule. And really, they generated it all in those 4 innings because you've got to have, like you said, 10 after 7 to get it done. It was Cam Kelly, the walk-off 2-run single. Ryer Reinhardt, yeah, he just does this. He just shows up to the ballpark and he goes 3 for 4 with a single, double, a homer. Only missed the triple for the cycle.
Oh, my gosh. That would have been. We were just talking about that, how he was close for the cycle on Monday as well. It's like, you can't, I mean, you can't ask for much more than that. The cycle is pretty cool, though.
Yeah, it will be fun. He's going to have a chance at it. There's going to be an at-bat this season before it's done where he is going to have an opportunity to do it, no matter which one he needs. If it's the triple, of course, that's difficult. If it's the home run, of course, he can do that. Right. I'm just going to go ahead and speculate that right now, that he's going to have a chance to do it.
I think so, too. And you know, we talked about his speed earlier, but I think that he can get that triple. I think he can.
Couple of other big swings for Kalamazoo. You had Tanner Hawkins. He drove in 3, also walked. and Cade Pricing with the 3-run bases clearing double. That put them for the most part clear. They led 9-2 at that point, and Jacob Davis now again retroactively creates the complete game as the Nets are able to walk it off with Cam Kelly. And what a day it's been. You ready to get out of here, though?
I am, but you know what? I will comment on how long this game took in comparison to Monday's game.
Cheers.
My goodness. It is 6:13. That means this game, oh my goodness. Did we start at 4 on the dot, Tanner?
Yeah, pretty much.
That was just over 2 hours. Or Monday's game, 3 hours and 27 minutes. 3 hours and 3.5 hours. So talk about a difference there. But these Hornets really showed up today, and thanks for hanging around with us. We really appreciate it. I am Julia Rambo.
And I am Tanner White. Thanks again so much for joining us. Have a great one.